Y'all now tuned in to the greatest podcast in the world, Thought for Narcissist Podcast. This is your boy Rhetoric. We here. I got my co-host with me. Unfortunately, I don't got my boy. No Outlaw Uwop today, unfortunately. But we might do something else a little later if he comes in later on today. But got my boy JoJo here.
Yo, what's happening?
EP for management.
Yes, sir. We here.
And oh my goodness, it must be a blue moon out here.
Oh
We
my
got
goodness.
20 fucking two
goodness.
in this bitch.
Oh my goodness.
This is crazy.
Oh my goodness.
It's been a minute since we had you up in here.
It's definitely been a minute. I think it's been since 2020, maybe 2019.
Yeah, especially before the pandemic.
Yeah, I was like,
You was a
You
young
ain't want to fuck with us no more. That's messed up.
yeah, y'all some lame ass niggas, but that's neither here nor there. So
I'm not even mad at that. It's disrespectful, but we gonna take it. We gonna start with. I love the energy because that's what we need. So you better keep that up. I hope you got some more fire behind that because shit's gonna get real.
She know what's going on though, so she knows
She
what's
need
going
to
on.
understand. This is the Thought for Narcissists. Shit didn't change. You see the setup is different.
Yeah,
we got
Cameras
money,
everywhere,
that's good.
lights everywhere. Shit different. So you gotta
investing in something.
you gotta speak to a nigga a little different. That's all you got. That's all I'm saying.
I know we used to share with a mic and a half because the
Don't
other
do that.
headphones and shit.
Mic and a half is crazy.
Everybody got mics and
I'm
mic
never
stands.
sharing a mic
Mics-
with another nigga.
mics
You
and
already
mic
know
stands
that.
now.
I'm still getting used to it.
Don't do that.
The headphones are going out shit.
You never even came with headphones.
Hey, but shit, we here now though.
Right.
We
So
here
don't
for
even
sure.
ever say headphones was going out because you never even came prepared. So
No, but I'm talking about the ones that you was, supplying in that room. We used to be in that back room.
Okay, she
Yeah.
giving out logistics. All right, yeah, but
don't disrespect the growth. This is where we came from. But we gotta get into a lot of shit. A lot of things been on the docket. But man, I feel real stupid now because I've been really holding the HBCUs down through the Deion Sanders, Ed
Is
Reed.
that what you call it, holding them down?
I was holding them down because I felt like I was on their team. I felt like I was on their side in this aspect.
But did they feel like you was on their team?
Now I feel like they don't let me down. I'm just gonna be honest.
They just now letting you down?
They let me down with this.
Because HBCU's been letting me down.
We got two atrocities that just occurred within weeks of each other, and I can't stand it. We done had Miss Coppin St. Okay, this girl ain't even a black girl.
She Mexican.
She ain't no way no Afro Latino or nothing in this. This lady is full Mexican.
She's Selena Gomez.
Crazy Selena Gomez.
Selena Gomez? What's her name?
I was gonna say I'm not even surprised that she is Mexican because the HBCU's been that's why I said I'm not surprised at all that they doing either one of them things because I'm like the HBCU's been letting people into black spaces. The whole point is it's a historically black college and HBCUs be trying to kiss everybody's ass so much that we're inclusive, we're diverse, and that's why I'm like I'm not even surprised that she Mexican. Like I mean. Shit, it was. I'm surprised she ain't white. Honestly, shit.
What's the girl's name?
What's the word?
JoJo Porter. What's her name?
What's the word? Rhetoric. That good. spicy
Kaylin
milk?
Perez.
No, this is definitely spicy white right here.
All right.
This is spicy white.
Yeah, she's not even like one of them. Nigga.
She's not an Afro Latino. Yeah, she's not.
Look.
She's just.
First of all, that was so hard. Nigga Mexican.
They literally have Afro Latino. Like that's literally sitting right there for you for a layup.
Nigga Mexican.
And you
is
chose
like,
not
wow. That is the
You
road
coulda called him a burrito Mexican or
No,
something
she
like
said it
anything.
with her chest. Nigga Mexican.
Nigga Mexican.
She just
Called him a taco nigga. That's crazy.
she's a white Hispanic.
Yeah, she's on
woman.
the whiter side. So
Yeah,
She's a
so-
Spaniard.
yeah.
That's pretty much.
Yeah,
I
you
mean,
can tell.
So that's something I'm not surprised about this shit at all. That's why I was like, I'm surprised she wasn't white because they've been gassing the fuck out of letting them white folks into the sororities and fraternities and shit. So I'm like, it was just a matter of time. They always want to be
Shout out to
inclusive.
Rory.
So.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, remember when we was coming up, there was a white nigga named Sam who was who was doing the little ticking and all that other shit.
Yeah.
Like he got a lot of fucking publicity just for being a white nigga in a black fraternity. Like that shit was fucking insane. So, and then this is even worse. Marcus Stokes, my man.
Man, I'm telling you, I don't think that one ain't
Marcus
as bad as the
Stokes.
first one.
I honestly don't think it is either because he was just he really was singing a song
And
he apologized and it's like
Well, let's
really,
let the listeners know what we're talking about. So Marcus Stokes was he's a recruit for college. He's a quarterback who's actually going to go to the University of Florida. Mm-hmm. So this nigga essentially lost his scholarship because he said the N-word while he was singing a song and putting it on social media. So because of that, now he is no longer with them, and he has gotten from Albany State, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So Albany State has given this nigga a full ride to come here and say nigga in the locker room.
Say nigga's crazy, but
Say nigga in the locker room.
I'm telling you,
While throwing the pigskin.
that's an oversight, man.
But
I mean,
it wasn't that serious.
They read his name and thought he was black.
I can see where Marcus Stokes is.
Say, what's his name again?
I can see where Marcus Stokes.
No. It's not even that. I feel like it was
We
again.
knew some Stokes in high school, so I can see
what
where.
It was again HBCUs was doing what HBCUs do best. I
don't even know. I don't even remember.
Was it a Kodak song or something?
Probably.
So,
going to Florida.
Yeah, there's something. Probably something like that. But
He's good enough to go to Florida.
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. At the end of the day, he's a football player.
Oh, yeah, no,
and the fact that he wasn't being outwardly racist, like he wasn't.
I can't be mad at you.
That's why I'm like they're gonna put him on their team. They're like they gave up.
I've been to too many shows where they let the pigment deficient people say the N-word.
That's why I'm like they
but I mean, like, yeah, he could come there and be like, shit. They could be like, hey, we ain't with none of that other shit.
Right. We just,
you know what I'm saying? You come here, you a D1 caliber quarterback.
Exactly. That's
so
that's all they
go on and ball out for 1 year because you know you're gonna do that.
Yeah. And then transfer to another.
And then transfer, and then now we still got. I mean, he at least a 3-star, 4-star athlete.
So that's why I'm like, they doing that in their best. They doing that in their best interest, and that's why I'm like
that shit up. What's his name? Marcus Stokes.
Marcus
Stokes.
So I do understand where you can
that
say
sound like somebody that wear a do-rag.
If I saw that name, I could definitely assume.
He be
there's some do-rag behavior behind that name.
No,
Marcus Stokes.
Is it the Marcus?
Bro, I'm pretty sure
both.
If we looked hard enough, there probably was a Marcus Stokes that played in the NFL.
I know nigga Stokes. I ain't met too many white
I've never met
folks.
anybody with the last name Stokes in general.
All the Stokes I know is niggas.
Or black adjacent.
But again, like I said, HBCUs love the inclusiveness, diversity. So it would be in their best interest if they're going for that to put that white boy back on the team. That's all. That's all I'm like.
No,
I mean, because if he could, so do you give any merit to if he can play and we got available to get him, we want him?
I mean, yeah. I mean, that's what I'm like. At the end of the day, it's a college, and they worry about winning. So that's why I'm like, even if it wasn't for that inclusive and we forgive him and all that black shit, because everybody love to be a whole top.
All that black
shit, yeah,
it's insane.
But everybody loves to be a hotep or hotep. I forgot how you pronounce it. Hotep. There you go. These days, and it's like with that specifically, it's sports. And since he wasn't just running around calling everybody a nigga, I mean,
but shit,
like you said, he was a D1 athlete. They're not gonna give up the opportunity to take that nigga.
But shit, they did. They pulled it.
But that was Florida's fault. They were being that was performative justice.
Albany pulled it.
Oh yeah, you're right. But
Albany pulled it. He signed it with West Florida. Wherever the fuck that is. Obviously West Florida. Obviously West Florida. But yeah,
that's what he's signing with?
They pulled it after.
Oh, it's West Florida?
No, Albany.
Albany pulled it.
Oh,
because of the backlash.
Yeah,
they had to.
Yeah, because they was like, oh, you know how that shit go, public opinion.
So that go against everything you were saying. They ain't trying to be inclusive. They said, no, we them niggas.
No,
we ain't
but
going
again,
for
that's performative justice, just like Florida did.
Yeah,
they let him go because of the backlash. They didn't keep his scholarship because of the backlash.
That's all it
was.
was.
Florida don't give a fuck. We
pretty much. They want that nigga. They don't.
Yeah, I mean, because they probably West Florida. That's some shit.
There's
no historical black behind it. So I think.
Yeah. I mean, that's just a college that you go to go and win whatever your division is and
get to a bigger junction. Yeah.
Right. I mean, Albany honestly didn't care either. That's why they gave him the damn scholarship.
Yeah, that was
because
like,
of the backlash.
Yeah,
and it's performative. It's all performative.
And it was like shit. Yeah, just like we were saying earlier, like shit. That's a Division I athlete. Could be. So yeah.
It's just insane.
I grab them, but then they got too much shit, so it was like. But I would have been like, "Fuck it, come on." Come on. And we'll just,
That's a hard thing to pick.
To be the HBCU with the white quarterback?
I mean,
not just the white quarterback. The white quarterback that openly has nigga.
Yeah.
I mean,
every game, I'm putting that on. Like, before every game, like, the student section, I'm doing that. We're going to have, like, videos of that shit playing.
Yeah.
I mean, but.
The quarterbacks are racist. It's everywhere.
I promise
but
you.
But that don't. I mean, man, it's 2023.
That's all we had. But black people's memory is so short term at this point when it comes to racist shit.
I mean,
they be back on everybody in about 60 days, so it really don't matter.
I give it about a month before they buy Balenci again.
That's literally.
Oh, they ain't never really stopped.
They really never stopped. It was performative. They got on Twitter. People get on the internet and do that type of shit.
Yeah, the
Them
internet.
folks still going to Linux and buying up that shit. They don't care for
buying
real.
the fuck out that shit.
I mean, they just want it for likes. It's always been for that. So
that's why I'm like, this is all performative. That's why I'm like, I don't hold none of this shit past nobody. So
All right, so we got to get into a little something, man. So you was a little active on the internet. You know what I'm saying? You might have jumped up the wrong tree. So I'm just trying to help you out right here. Do you want to kind of take some things back, or can we go in into let the audience know what we're talking about here?
I don't really feel like there was anything to take back per se.
Okay,
but,
well let me fill everybody in then. So there was a little tweet that was going around where there was a transgender woman who was talking about high maintenance women, and basically she had told them what to expect was if you're dealing with a guy, more than likely he's not gonna have the funds to be able to take care of a high maintenance woman.
That's not what she said.
Okay. So you can correct me if I'm wrong.
Well, no,
correct me.
Like,
give us from your.
Pretty much, there was, like you said, there was a video. The lady was transgender. This wasn't anything that was outwardly said. It was just something that was a very obvious observation. And she was essentially talking about why men choose vanilla women or essentially plain Janes over women who are more, put together. And what she was essentially was comparing women to fucking cars. Mm-hmm. And she was like, oh, women who put themselves together are more maintenance and they cost more money.
So
plain
a BMW
are pretty much, you compare it's like a BMW and a Toyota Corolla. And I was essentially saying that as a transgender woman, you cannot wholeheartedly be like, you relate to females, you are a female, and still push misogynistic shit like that. Like to basically boil women and their needs down to being fucking maintenance is crazy, especially when it comes from a transgender woman, because you've been on that other side of the field, so you understand the perspective of which that is coming from, and it's just socialized misogyny. Like there's a man out there for every single woman, so to tell a woman that basically ain't nobody gonna pick you and you might as well just sit down for the long run is crazy as hell, because no, she doesn't. There's a man out there for every single person, and I just felt like from her perspective, if anybody should understand that, you should understand that. And then they kind of ate me up on Twitter. So can
I give you a little pushback on one of the points you did add on?
What?
They ate me up. They was
giving her. They was bodying her.
But I was gonna say though, what's crazy is 90% of what I was getting was actually people agreeing with me. They were supporting me, but then I was kind of getting ate up by the people who, oh, you're a transphobe.
The alphabet people.
Yeah. The LGBTQ community.
The thing they hated because she said man aligned. And
I didn't even call her a man. I'm calling her she. I'm saying trans woman.
You was definitely played it.
But they saw man aligned and lost it. And I said still man aligned because originally she was a man. So she's coming over with those man aligned thoughts. I feel like once you transition, you have to let go of all of that past, like
gotta unlearn that.
Whatever you was taught about women before. Yeah. Like women are not in women are naturally in competition with each other, but not to the extent that they be acting like we are. Like they think that, so they're imitating it, and it's like every woman doesn't wake up every day like, how can I out bad bitch the next bitch? Like, well, that's not every fucking day. So it's just like. But they're like I said, they're only taking that from a very exaggerated perspective. That's why I'm like, if you're going to transition, if you're going to be an ally, if you're going to be a woman, you need to be an ally to what they call cis women, biologically born women, and also, counteract the misogyny that's coming from dating standards. And that's all I was saying. But
but there's a lot of points that I want to touch on to that you said in there that I'm so glad that you went into with. The idea that there's a man out there for every woman, we know that's not the truth. That is a fairy tale.
There honestly is.
It's not.
There honestly is.
There is not. Listen, I can tell you it's not. There's statistics that show that only like 40% of men have reproduced.
Right.
So that's like under half. So there's
because they're not reproducing doesn't mean that they don't have a partner.
More than likely, though, the chances of you being with a partner, you're going to be reproducing.
That's not, especially not these days.
I'm talking about that was history. That was global history.
Even in general, that doesn't mean that a lot of people choose not to have kids. Some men are also they're not able to have kids. So there's a lot of different factors you have to consider when you're saying that only 40% of people are reproducing. Because if that's the same thing, we could probably say the same about women. And a lot of women have reproductive issues as well. So there's a lot of things that go into that. Some people are sickly. Some people have disabilities. There are so many other things that go into that. We are talking about the regular, me, her, walking down the street. We're able-bodied. We're all there mentally. And, we're able to do for ourselves as adults. I have yet to find a female as high maintenance as can be. I'm not paying no bills. He needs to get me a car. Hell, I was bought a car. So, and I didn't even ask for that. So that's why I'm like, There's a nigga out there for everybody. I don't care what anybody says. The low maintenance girl who don't want shit, she doesn't need shit. There's a nigga out there for her, and that bitch who want everything, there's a nigga out there for her. So it's
but the reports of loneliness even in women are staggering. Where they're saying they can't find these mates. That they're saying like I'm not going off of anything. I promise you, people try to make jokes about me, Fred, you misogynist. I listen to what women are saying. And
I understand that as well. But that also is a place that some women have put themselves in. They put themselves in.
But that's what I'm saying. But
that's what I'm saying. There is somebody out there for there.
So you have to settle.
No, you don't have to settle. This is okay. Let me explain. There is a lot of women put themselves into these positions because they listen to other women.
Yeah.
So, and I'm not being a pick-me at all, because I really don't give a damn what a nigga got to say to me, honestly. But what I'm basically saying is there are women out there who genuinely believe, who make $30,000 a year, that a nigga is supposed to buy her a Birkin. But that nigga's also working a $30,000 a year job. She has now put herself in a category in which she does not belong in. So it's like you're never going to find that person.
Because it's unrealistic.
It's unrealistic.
So we can be fair then.
But that's not settling though. That is being real with yourself. You're being delusional at a certain point.
Yeah.
You're being delusional.
I mean, to be fair, that's kind of the conversation. If you look at what people are asking for and to be provided for, if you don't want to provide anything in regards financially, that's cool. But look at the economy. The recession is crazy. No one's getting more money. No wages are low.
For the time being, no, it's not realistic. But for the past 70 years, a stay-at-home wife is what a woman was.
But let's talk about that. Let's talk about that. What were y'all not doing before? Y'all weren't working in masses as y'all were now.
And that's what I was saying. As of now, no, it's not as realistic. There still are men out there who do prefer. There are men and women who prefer traditional lives. Yeah. And that is okay. But as of now,
it's a large segment of women that's like, I'm not doing that. I'm not.
The expectation of you dealing with
that's somebody there. But there's also a large segment of women who also understand that is not for them anymore because they have been given that freedom.
Where are they at though in that stance though? Because a lot of them, you're a younger girl yourself, so you seeing a lot of what the young girls are saying. At this stance right now, I would argue 25 is a good chance to be like, hey, what am I doing here? Am I going to be a career lady or am I going to be a wife? Because those two things take different steps.
Deal. Yeah. Fork in the road type.
That's a fork in the road age right there.
But 25 is honestly still fairly young for the most part. And I try not to, me personally, I had to learn how.
It's young to you. But to men,
no,
that's
on
the task. We're putting you on the skillet.
Like where she at is where she.
And I mean, but I feel like that's I feel like that's for any adult though, because at 25, at that point, you're matured as mature as you're gonna get.
Yeah,
you are the person you are going to be.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's like at this point, if you're not making those types of choices, then you're probably gonna be indecisive majority of your life.
But you can argue, like I said, you've been around girls.
But you got a little age for a little bit of grace too, though.
But you can tell the girls your age, they may not have that range of where, hey, it may not be a $200K nigga for me. It may be a 80 or 70.
But that's what I'm saying. That comes with maturing, though. A lot of women who go on the internet and read them type of things and take that to heart are still very childish in mind because they're taking advice from people. First of all, you don't have the same lifestyle and you don't even know the same damn people as them. You done known right down the street your whole fucking life, and you back and forth with that nigga. You have 3 of his kids, and you're expecting this new nigga that
22
just
Samuels
happens to have 9 to 5.
22 Samuels going crazy right now.
Don't say that.
No, you let her cook. Shut up.
She whipping it up.
Put the camera on.
But you're expecting this man that comes with a 9 to 5 to take you not only out of poverty and out of your situation, but also put your kids on this pedestal, put you on a pedestal, and it's like just the overall situation is unrealistic. Do I think it's not reasonable to think that a man is supposed to help you? Hell no. If I'm fucking you, you need to be doing something. But at the same time, do I feel like
help is half the bill, half on your phone bill. That's help.
But that's what I'm saying though. It comes down to no,
man.
I'm just saying.
That's help. I mean, but why don't you got that?
That's
fair. What I'm saying.
Yeah, you should have that.
There are some women who have never gotten help, so just getting help on her phone bill is going to be enough. But there are also women out there, like I said, that honestly do expect a nigga to pay for everything, and it's just like sometimes you have to. They have to get to a certain age or a certain place where they mature and realize that they're not even doing those things for themselves. There are one in a lifetime niggas who come around and do save that girl, but 9 times out of 10 you're not gonna be her. So it's like you should, as a woman, you should never be in a position where you want to put all your eggs in one basket anyways. So it was like, even if I am looking for that nigga to take care of me, I still have everything of my own. So that way, if he don't come along, I'm straight. I think the bitterness starts to come when they don't have that backup plan.
Or when it don't work.
Or when it doesn't work, and now they're just kind of on their ass. And then that's when it's, oh, niggas ain't shit, niggas ain't this, niggas ain't that.
Because the nigga ain't.
And I also don't think they take into consideration what we want. Because like I said, like a lot of times where, like I said, the age thing, like it's a crossroads for y'all. Y'all don't even really know it yet. Because y'all haven't, there's not a lot of guys around teaching y'all to tell y'all that, like, hey, you're 27, 28. You need to kind of make a decision. Like, do you want to be a mom or do you want to be a working woman? Because those decisions are coming up. Not saying you're not going to date. And that's why I think a lot of the conversation kind of gets misconstrued is no one's saying you're not going to date. You're not going to say you're not going to have outcomes, but they may not be what you want.
But also at the same time, I don't think anybody's actually dating properly anymore. And that's another issue. I'm like,
what is dating properly?
Dating properly is actually getting to know somebody. A lot of people are stuck in like the situationship bullshit that's become okay. So where you're not actually committed enough to anybody to actually be taking them out anywhere. They coming over your house, but you're not really learning it. You're just fucking, but you're not really learning each other on the scale that it would take in order to move into a relationship.
Time, yeah.
So it's like at this point now you have, oh, this nigga's fucking me, so we should at least,
and I like it, so right? You my nigga,
pretty much, and that's not how really, that goes. Yeah. And even on men's end, a lot of men just kind of come into women's lives and like, oh, you my bitch now, and that's not how that works either. Like you have to get to know people, and that's where a lot of that becomes misconstrued because you see this like for a woman's perspective. Only thing you see every day is this nigga comes in your house at 9 o'clock, he fucks you, and he always got a wad of cash. So you're assuming that cash is eventually going to be for you if you stay down long enough, and he's not even that type of nigga. If you got to know him, he's stingy as shit. So it's like you just wasted your own time because he was never going to be that person anyway.
Yo, the best thing that you can ever do, bro, is show women you have something. Even if you don't have money, if you can just bring around a little cash, they'll never ask you for anything. If they think you got it like that, they'll never ask you for anything. But that's the problem. But if they see you struggling, they'll try to drain that fucking water out of a rock. Yeah. You like, bro, baby, you not see what's going on right here? This shit is dry. I am tapped out.
Well,
you know
what you can do for me,
but they want it now. Yeah. But you over here going.
When I have seen it for myself. Hell, I'm not gonna lie. I've had experiences where I did that. Like, oh, I can physically see the money. So if you stay with this nigga or you stay down long enough, eventually that money becomes yours. It's gonna start transferring to you. And sometimes it'll be the worst people you could fucking deal with. But I didn't get to know them on that level. So now it's like, you know.
Let me throw a theory out here that I've had. So women have been allowed to vote since 1920-ish. We can say right there. No, I'm saying women have been allowed to vote for that long. So y'all have had this agency for roughly only 100 years now?
Right.
It's kind of making sense where it's like y'all really haven't seen a lot of examples on how to navigate with the agency y'all have had so long. So it makes sense that where you talk about a lot of girls are maturing or a slower rate or things like that, it makes sense because y'all don't really have decades and centuries of examples of this. This is really the first time in you're a part of the first 100 years of women.
Honestly, because after
at least in
prior
America,
to the last 60 years, I mean, you know, that's why everybody always talking about grandmas and grandpas. Your grandma used to get her ass beat every day, and she couldn't go nowhere. So shit, that's why I'm like, it's like you. That's why I'm like, there's no good dating examples at this point, at least not for women. And that's why I'm like, historically there's no good dating examples. You were taught to be a wife, shut your ass up. If he hits you, go in the room, get yourself together, come back out, take care of them.
They like the NBA in the 60s. So, like, you know what I'm saying? They just going up and down. Niggas ain't playing defense. So they just shooting the ball at the rim.
Like, as time goes on, it's like, and you know, like
it's the reason why Bill Russell dominated.
So it's like as time goes on, you know, women are learning, you know, what to accept, what not to accept, and it's always. But even men still do the same shit. You know, your daddy may have been a player, like your whole family may have been players, and you're really trying to settle down. So it's like I feel like the dating thing is always going to go up and down. But I feel like for women specifically, because the whole the world is based off a man's point of view, that it is harder to navigate. And since we have recently, you know, been allowed to make those major decisions for ourselves, it starts to, you know, it's
y'all still rusty. Y'all learning. It's not a bad thing.
Rusty's crazy, but
I mean, it's the truth though. Y'all still learning. Nothing bad about that. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I'm not mad at it. It's just, to me, we have to understand, like, even with Lotto with her shit, she just talking about, I guess she was talking about 21 paying for everything.
But again, who is Lotto? She's a celebrity.
Yes, that's all I'm saying. That's all I'm trying to say. You ain't celebrity. You ain't
she already at a level to where a nigga know, like.
That's exactly.
That's a big
problem. To come with
celebrities is just, and that's on men and women. Niggas think at 19 years old, they supposed to have scat packs, they supposed to have $20,000 in hand, and bitches think that they need to have Birkins and fucking $500,000 houses at 25. So it's like there's a whole social media has skewed
Yeah,
real life.
people are looking
in
at
general.
celebrities like they're realistic goals for a lifestyle that they can't live or know what it entails.
Exactly.
And so because of that, people have a misconstrued expectation of how they think courting, dating, showing me appreciation, all of that.
I'm like, if we took away social media, I feel like dating wouldn't be as complicated. I feel like social media has complicated all this shit so much to the point people don't know what's real life and what's just for show. Yeah. And they're taking those for show things and incorporating them into real life. And it's like, there's no way in fucking hell you think that nigga from FedEx is finna take you on a helicopter ride and come down and have
he could.
I mean,
he
could
just got
if he doing
probably
some other
2
legal
years.
things.
In 2 years, you could do that.
Once he save up every check for
But
the next
even
2
that,
years,
like, look at-
I mean, a helicopter ride ain't
you know what I'm saying? Like, you just
Depends on where it's at.
But exactly, it depends.
Yeah, it's a 19-year-old.
Maldives, and you there for 10 days.
This is what I've wondered though. This is what I've always wondered though, because we've changed, and especially in a short time frame, so much of how we engage and work with women, men and women work, business, anything that we've done, we have changed the way we've navigated. Even in social settings, we've changed the way, but we failed to navigate that in dating. You know, that we haven't changed the expectations general in courting.
If you look at the time period, it went from women and men being dependent on each other because a man was never supposed to take care of the kids. A woman is only taking care of the kids. To now women have all this freedom right after the war, and then you start to get more single parent households. And then immediately after that, specifically in the black household, you had the crack epidemic and all that type of shit. So then they got people on welfare. You're strategically moving people around. I feel like
y'all chose the check.
It's a
no, because
it's
they
can't say that.
They did, but the circumstances gave them no choice to do that.
Pretty much the circumstances anyway.
At the same time, in 1959, you have the government stripping away pretty much trade from schools. So no more welding, no more shop, no more plumbers.
They took away all of those economically,
the things that would make a black man achievable to be able to go and really sustain and provide for his family.
So now they gotta go to war.
They also had to compete with women in the workforce.
And then they told you had to go to a 4-year university and pay $60,000 to get that same education they were just giving out for less than $1,000 for a year.
Right. Either that or go to the military.
Exactly. And that's what a lot of black men started to do. And that's why a lot of them started to come back to broken homes and things like that. And guess what they did? Once those white folks moved out of all of those projects, that's literally how a lot of those projects started coming about. Was they were military projects initially.
They were for working people.
And for white people.
Exactly.
Tentwood, one of the first ones in Atlanta.
Exactly. And then they started to move them black folks in. The white people started to leave. They took the jobs with them, and then they started putting black people. They started pushing assistants. And the way you got the assistants is it couldn't be no man be in that damn house. So that just further separated.
So you gotta get the fuck on.
Yeah,
they did checks back then too.
So it's like that just further separated, especially in the black community, just further separated our unionization of our being a couple. So then it's like then you have the independent black woman era of like the 80s and the 90s where everybody got kids and don't nobody got no man, and now you're this just
and my man is either on
black women
exactly.
Black women, y'all need to destroy Neo.
PTSD.
Or PTSD.
Neo was a part of that. Neo dropped 2 or 3 songs talking about the independent woman shit. Like, no, that's who y'all need to go after.
Neo the fucking singer?
Yes. The one cheating on his wife.
Neo reference is crazy.
That's what I was saying.
Bro, do you not know? He brought 2 songs where he talked about, I want a girl who want my...
Being independent isn't an issue. Being independent isn't an issue. It is when you're separating being independent and it being a unified family. Women are
self-sufficiency
is not an
independence.
issue.
Yeah.
Being an independent woman, which has been projected on us not only by the government but also by media in general, is just you don't need a man. You don't need anybody but yourself. That's when that I
think that's nasty advertising because I don't think that's true. I think there is a fundamental need, especially with our people.
We want to have partners anyway.
We're social creatures.
So that's why I feel like a lot of black women, we get caught up in the I don't need a man, but then it's like then you're taking in the worthless niggas too because you do want a man, but you don't want a man to overshine you because you've been taught that you're the only person that matters in this. Pretty much you in charge. So now you can worthless ass niggas in your situation, which is just making your life worse, and it's a cycle. And that's why I'm like
and
that.
Still stripping and taking away from you while interacting.
Exactly. So that's why I'm like that the independence has not only stripped black women of being, having those unified families, but it's also stripped black men of learning how to run families. Because a lot of black men, if you ask me, a lot of black men act like bitches these days, and that's just true. A lot of them act like they mamas.
Well, I mean, that's who
A lot
they
of
was
them
raised by. That's who my mother was raised by.
Give us a couple examples that you have.
JoJo, shut the fuck up.
No, I mean, no, you ain't gotta say nobody's name. I'm saying.
I don't know how to say any examples without getting way too specific. Where?
Well, I mean, just like a stereotype that you've seen,
for example,
was true.
A thing that I've noticed. I know too many men past 25 years old that live in their parents' house, and there's no problem with that, especially in this day and age. I'm about to go back to my mama's house. But in this day and age, you have no job, you have no car, you have nothing. Your mom is doing nothing but, oh, that's my baby. She's enabling that man to stay in her house. But this nigga's also outside having kids and making broken homes. But he's coming back to this household that he knows, so he thinks it's normal for women to struggle because his mama done struggled with her 5 kids her whole life. So it's like...
But how many of that is really the population? Because... when we actually go back,
how many people are raised by a single parent in black households?
But not saying that. It's not single parent household. But the picture that you painted,
and
with the individual,
there's a lot.
I would say a lot. I would think there's a noticeable amount, maybe a vocal amount, because those individuals maybe don't have the time to. They have the time to spread that ideology in regards to them. Like you said, he thinks women's supposed to struggle.
But even, I know people
he
who
has the
don't
time
have
to
kids.
do that.
I know people who don't have kids and still think like that because they saw their mother struggle. They think that all women are supposed to be out here having 2-3 jobs and you shouldn't need shit for a nigga. That's also not how that's supposed to go.
No, okay. I get what you're saying. I just feel like that's just a small minority of
How much of that is self-awareness, though, of women? Like, to take the responsibility to be like, I don't have to live like this.
I think a lot of it, I think some of it falls on women as well. Definitely. Because I feel like I think both parties play the blame game a lot. Like, that's your fault.
No, we
that's
blame shift. That's been the conversation for.
And that's why I'm like, I definitely
years.
feel like it's the blame game on both ends. But I definitely feel like there is a certain point where women, we need to come as one and be like, I'm not dealing with this lame ass nigga no more. Like, he needs to go. Like, he's not adding anything. He's only taking from me. He needs to go. And I feel like if we also stop being enablers on the dating end of things, that would also, like, it's a circle where we all have to kind of hold hands and do it together. If only one party is doing it, it's never gonna work.
I mean, there has to be a change because, again, men can't have this expectation if you're not a high earner of being 100% submission from your individual. And that's also a problem that we have in regards to that, where there's not a lot of understanding that, hey, my man, shit's changed. She ain't gonna be quiet, especially our women.
No,
they ain't gonna be quiet.
You don't know by now that they're not gonna be quiet.
That's just a real thing.
Yeah, but I feel like
that's
just
natural. You gotta learn how to deal with that shit.
That's why I'm like, that culture is over. Though that was,
not for us, it is. No, for other ones, it ain't.
But that's what I'm saying. But that culture, America is past that at this point. That
not
culture,
America. I promise you, Black America is past that. When you go into these white homes.
A lot of
Becky
white women, you ain't been to a lot of white homes then, because I know some white women.
I grew up around a lot of white homes.
Becky is popping her shit.
Becky popping her
fucking shit.
She is gonna talk her shit.
She
gonna pop her shit.
Yeah,
she gonna get to a stop point. She gonna get at the house.
Okay, and
y'all will pop shit at the Walmart.
Also, you can't depend on black women because black men do the same shit. I was like, black men and black women do the same shit. All that arguing in public, all that extra shit, it's too much. It's too much, and that's why everybody says, "Oh, the black household is being destroyed." I know just as many white single mothers as I do black single mothers. But the thing is that they keep this shit in private. So you think every white lady with them kids, she know her baby daddy or she know this person, and she don't.
She don't.
But it's because they keep their things private that we assume that their lives are more put together than us, and I think that's why black people are so hard on themselves.
But they're also good at branding. They're good at branding.
Look what's going on with me.
No, they are. Blended family. That's fly. Having a blended like when I see white people come out with blended family, I was like, okay, they on to something else. They really out here. When they coined the term, blended family, like they really was on some other shit.
Because they're gonna always make it seem unified.
That's what I'm saying. That's a good rebrand. We calling it ex baby daddy, all this other shit. No, we're a blended family. Hunter comes over, he brings his wife.
I hate that shit.
You know what I'm saying?
I hate that blended family.
They even made it fly though.
But it's just words.
It's just a whitewashed term of her saying that she ain't with her baby daddy no more.
That's it. You're right. That's all it really is.
But like I said, the negative connotation, I feel like a lot of black people, we put it on ourselves. We have helped.
No, we take pride in the title of it.
That's the problem. We shouldn't. You shouldn't.
But and my point, what I was kind of really getting at is the expectation of we can't have the idea of what we see other cultures have in regards to patriarchy. Like I live around a Muslim lady. I try to say hi to her when I walk by. She don't speak to me.
But also,
she
you
look
understand
down.
what culture.
That's what I'm saying. But I'm saying that there's different cultures with that
because
we can't expect that kind of culture.
I think that come from.
That's an extreme, but that's just one thing I've seen.
Black people don't follow shit for real.
We don't. We all kind of we're
all go on
we're not
our own.
Unified.
Whatever the tribe is of my household, that's what it is. So there is no uniformity across the table.
But because of that, that's what it has a lot of miscommunication.
But that's why I said, and it goes back to that individualism that was pushed on us once all them black people started coming back from war. It all literally comes right back because they knew that division and divide and conquer. Yep. That's all they did, and that's all that's happened. And unfortunately, it's kind of ingrained in our society at this point. So it was like we have to come to a certain point where we have to get back together as a community.
My point also kind of stands.
I don't think it's possible.
You don't think so?
No, my point kind of also stands about what I said with the women only having voted for 100 years. We've only been free for only 2.
The only
so
reason
we
I don't
still
think
learning.
It's possible is not because we don't have the intelligence or the conversation.
I think we're too influential. I think we're too influenced at this point.
I think
we're followers.
Not even
followers.
I think we too busy. We don't know how to not personalize when criticized.
That's true. A lot of black people. That's why that anger, like black people have anger problems, is because a lot of us aren't open to criticism.
So I think when we go and really have the dynamic conversations between black men and women about the struggles we've had, the issues that have transpired between
they're
them.
like, oh, it's not me.
Yeah. And then
so
it's like,
it doesn't
and now we just back and forth talking in circles because it's like, I want a woman that, appreciate, uplift,
But and we also talk vague terms. When we really just need to say what we want. Yeah. Baby, I want your agency. You want my money? Let's trade. Because that's really what a lot of niggas and women are.
Because people don't want to deal with the perception of what that might mean of hearing it out loud.
I mean, that's just what it is.
Or like, I've noticed a lot of people use examples. They'll be like, oh, so my homeboy, he had this idea. And it's like, that's your idea. Just claim it as your idea.
I don't want to be judged.
But I think,
that's
like
what I'm trying to do.
I think it all comes back to the unifying of the black community. Like he said, it may not be. I feel like it's not possible because we are way too influenced. We say we don't care about white people's influence, but that's literally all we
follow
do.
The standard of what they own,
and that's why I'm like, that's all we do.
But the thing is like this though. It goes back to my shit, and we can kind of lighten this up in a little bit. But it kind of goes back to my point of what I always say is our investment is in our bodies. So we have to be sponsored into shit. Like people have to, hey, I got this brand. Build it up for me. I got this song. Push it up. Like, that's where our value comes from. Because we don't go, hey, I can't go this rock and make your CD for you. You know what I'm saying? We can't do all this other stuff and make your cell phone for you and all this other stuff like these other cultures can. So when it comes to us, it's our bodies.
We do, but the problem is we give that buying power to other people.
But, I mean, if you go to Africa, you can even see, like, I don't know if y'all saw the little vibranium rock they just showed where the rock with the electrician.
They put that on the internet,
but it's because they get money for that. They get views and stuff like that.
I understand that, but something as resourceful as some shit like that.
But we don't even know that could have been funny business.
It could have, but I'm just saying, like, it's just. It's like certain things. I feel like black people were so quick to showboat.
No, that's all we live for is the show.
But a lot of those countries, they get their money.
You have to see this. And it's like even when black people come up with like $1 million ideas, the first thing we do is we go tell somebody else. And after that person is usually somebody that we find a confidant, and all they do is end up undermining.
We wait for the validation of I seen it.
Exactly.
Like literally. It don't even you have to necessarily seen it. My dog seen it, and I trust my dog, so I'm riding with whatever he said he saw.
No, I get that, but I mean, and like I said, we can spin off this a little bit, but it's just because again, with a lot of limitations that we do have, is why we get pushed into these positions. We have to sit into these folks' ghettos and all that other shit like that. But let's just it's not too light, but we're gonna get into a question. So, have y'all ever noticed a difference in dating somebody who has a 2-parent household from someone that's a single-parent household?
Hell yeah, I'm actually doing that right now. And that I actually told
Hold on, let me put the camera on you.
I actually told that nigga the other day. I was like, yo, you act way different.
Okay, talk some examples.
He was
we need get specific. Let's hear it.
Because me and JoJo both come from 2-parent households.
And you can tell. Actually, JoJo is a great example of
not too much on me though.
I think enough. I think a little bit on JoJo. A little bit on JoJo. Let me put the camera on JoJo real quick. A little bit on JoJo.
JoJo is a great person for a 2-parent household. JoJo is a person, he's no bullshit. JoJo's going to tell you what to do, how to do it, and what not to do it on that side. And he's going to stand by what he says. JoJo's not going to let you sway him. JoJo's going to stand on anything that he says. And he's not going to also be looking for your opinion. He will tell you something if you don't like it. And he'll sit there and be like, well, I don't really give a fuck what you think. Because he's going to still do it anyways. And I think that him having a father has just reaffirmed him of himself. So he doesn't need that outside like that outside contribution for him to know who he is as a person. And so I feel like JoJo is a great example as somebody, once he gets married, whenever the fuck that is, he will be able to run his household properly.
You don't think JoJo would have the scale too high? Because I feel like a lot of times, especially like that, my parents are still together too. The scale gets put a little bit too high. But see, my mom is different in regards to.
But I was gonna say, and the reason why I said he's
yeah. It's a difference.
Yeah,
it's a difference.
Our parents would be different if you seen them together.
I was like, but JoJo, and it specifically is from a disciplined household. I ain't gonna say
you come from a father-led household, right? Your dad is the more
that's what he comes from.
My mom, even though I have both my parents, my mom is the one who's the more vocal one.
Yeah, so I can tell. Anyways.
Whoa.
Anyway.
Hold on.
No, I mean, you
can
tell.
Yeah,
you can
tell.
The way
JoJo acts and the way you act, y'all act like two different. Like you can tell which sex led which household. You're very verbal.
Hold
JoJo's
on,
more of a.
Don't do that. My pop's about to turn 7. He was holding it down.
I
hold my nigga down.
He gonna let you say what we gotta say, and then he gonna be like, all right, but I don't really give a fuck. Here how it's really finna go. So, like, he's not looking for your additional input. You open the floor for additional conversation. He's not doing it.
Yeah. I'm stopping that shit. I've been ending that additional conversation shit lately.
Yeah, but it was something that you had to like. No, I did have to, bro. Like you ain't like the other way, so like.
No, there's a huge difference. Like I said, just going back to JoJo, like he's not as fucking emotional as a lot of men that I meet that have a one parent household that were specifically raised by their mom. A lot of those men be overly emotional. They don't know how to communicate. They do a lot of crying, a lot of pouting. Even if it ain't crying, it's screaming, hollering, yelling. And it's like, you know what this nigga gonna do? He gonna just shut you down. He gonna be like, all right, I don't want to talk to you no more. And he's gonna be able to gather himself and come back to a situation without destroying not only what he has going on, but as well as what other people have going on. He's not gonna self-destruct because he's upset.
So essentially, you was dealing with niggas from the Boys in the Hood, nigga.
I've never seen that movie.
Cuba Gooding Jr. Niggas coming in punching air.
Culture. She's not culture. We all forgot.
You coming in niggas punching air.
Yeah. She wouldn't even know.
Much, I mean, and that's how a lot of them, because they're used to being around an emotional woman, so they are very emotional. But it's like men who have a dad, they're able to get that shit together. They'll talk to you about it. He gonna get his thoughts off, and that's gonna be done. You got anything else to say? Okay, cool. We're done with the conversation. Let's keep it moving.
So what about you, Eric? What do you feel like in regards to dating in a 2-parent household? Because I guess it does really feel like it matters about who's the leader of it.
Yeah, because I come from a single parent household.
Same.
Like, now my pops was prevalent. So, like, that kind of smoothed out a lot of the shit that, like, she illustrated is, like, shit that's real. And shit that I can honestly say I had to work on myself. Like, growing up through adolescence. But me being with somebody from a 2-parent household, it is a different level of sometimes unrealistic expectations. Mm-hmm. That you got to kind of really meet in the middle of, like, really understanding and knowing, because it's some things that is, like, I'm not your daddy. Like, I'm not about to do that shit that he did with your mama.
Yeah,
bullshit.
Yeah, that's definitely true, though, because I feel like a lot of, even men with 2-parent households, you know, their moms were homemakers, or, you know, that was their position, even though she may have worked. But, you know, you coming home to certain things every night. And it's like, I grew up in a single parent household. My mom was the person cooking, cleaning, and working. So it was like, with me, I've had to kind of bring down my ego a little bit myself, because I'm so used to.
Are you one of those ones who had the response where, like, you saw your mom cooking, clean, so you eat out all the time instead of cooking?
Yeah.
Oh, see, that's the ones that get expensive right there.
Yeah.
Those are that get expensive.
Yeah,
appetizers and shit. Like, 2 entrees.
I'm the opposite end of that, because, like, I seen both of my parents cook my whole life, so, like, I ain't never been opposed to be like, no, we can just.
Yeah, my dad used to make me breakfast, and my mom made me.
And that's what I'm like. That's what I'm like. I'll do either or, but I am a more so going out and eating out type person. Like, hell, I've even had a maid come clean out my house several times.
That's one thing I've noticed between people with single who've come from single household. Y'all love to eat out. When y'all get your own money,
if I got some extra loot, I'll go down and sit somewhere, like, especially if it's a spot I really like. Like, that's like almost like treating myself.
Bussin', for real.
I'll go do that for sure. Like,
I've definitely noticed that with all of mine, because, like I said, my whole life, my parents never been any kind of divorce, no separate. So, like, I've seen other people go through those different experiences, and I've noticed that's always been a trend. Niggas love to eat out.
Yeah. I think
convenient.
It's convenient. it's only you. So it's like, and especially when you're coming from a household where you had one parent and they did spend so much time being the homemaker and also the breadwinner, you don't get a lot of that time. So I try to eliminate some of those things, especially when I have a partner. I try to eliminate some of them things so that way I can spend more time with you directly. I would much rather have that.
Growing up in that environment too, it's usually when you went out, it was positioned as some type of like celebration.
Yeah, I wasn't doing that.
Yeah, like it's like a special occasion.
And I'm not saying that my
graduation
mama,
and shit and all that.
My mom made it a thing for us to go out, like especially around my birthday, once a year. Like we would go somewhere. So like my 19th birthday, we went to Toronto. Yeah, like my 21st, we went to Las Vegas. Like we did. She always made it a.
Your mama love you.
No, I'm the only girl though. But
the only girl.
Yeah,
the only girl. The girl gonna get.
But and I'm
way
also
more.
the youngest.
I always thought the mamas and the black mamas that was always
it's hit or miss. It's hit or miss. No, it's real.
It's a hit or miss situation, and that's why I don't like when people black mothers hate their daughters. My mom is literally my best friend. I've never had a fucking issue. I hate that everybody like some people have been through.
I've only seen it when it's multiple kids. Like if
you're
your mom's only daughter,
my mom got multiple kids.
I've seen it with the one.
Yeah, it all depends.
It really depends on the mom.
Sometimes it be the oldest daughter or the oldest,
the middle child,
who's a daughter, or
or
the middle child.
It's
a bunch of different little dynamics.
It could just literally be the baby daddy. They could literally just not like their baby daddy.
Oh yeah, don't look like
they don't like the fucking kid. Yeah, I go through that.
My genes are strong, so I understand.
That's why I'm like, they could literally not like the baby daddy to the point they just do not like their fucking kids, and that's the problem. Because again, we're having kids for the wrong reason.
Crazy.
Yeah.
We was having a kid to keep the nigga and not a kid because we wanted a kid. So now we're being spiteful toward our kid. Now when she has that relationship with her dad that you always wanted, or she's having a relationship even outside of a dad. Let's say her dad isn't there at all, and you just see her having a happy relationship with a man. Now she's spiteful because I had a nigga baby and I didn't get that. And you're not doing shit. So that's when you think you better than me. That's why I'm like, they mamas be bitter. That's what that be. And I'm like, I had a mom who was very self-sufficient and she was very, like, she's into herself. So she understands outside of a man, she is always who she's going to be. So it was never a conversation about a man in my household. I did have stepdad, and let me say that too. I was raised in a single parent household very sporadically.
Yeah,
my mom was married.
It was ups and downs.
Yeah, my mom was married twice. Wow. Yeah, she was married twice. Yeah. So it was like I have had a father figure in my life. Let me not act like I haven't. But at the same time, outside of him, I understood who, at the end of the day, my go-to was my mother. So that's why I'm like, I guess I can't say that I was raised in a single-parent household per se, but...
This is why I wonder, because...
Most of the time, though.
But yeah, most of the time, it was her. So.
No, I had this experience that happened not too long ago. So I was getting a money order from the Kroger or whatever, and there was no person at the line. So the older dude behind me left to go grab, find somebody and attend it. So another young girl came up. She probably was a little bit older than me. And then he comes up to her. He says, "Hey, I just got out of line, just to see if we get a tenant. Can I get my space back?" She says no to the nigga. Like, this is an older nigga. This nigga probably like 50, 60 years old. Older nigga that tried to do something. So, when it's my turn, I'm in front of her. When it's my turn to come up, I tell the old nigga, "Come on. Hey, you can come up in front of me, go do your thing, handle your business." Yeah. She goes berserk.
Like, went up.
I'm talking about going ditch on me and an old nigga. Bro, she started going crazy on
this.
No,
bullshit.
No, talking about, what the
fuck?
With
that dirty ass shirt.
No, she tried to say, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. I had a jacket on. I had a jacket on. The dirty shirt couldn't be seen.
You said I had a jacket on.
She went even farther than that, where she was talking about, what, y'all niggas gay or something? Like, yes, because I let the old nigga
yes, I done seen women do that. That's they go.
Hey, that shit would have been a seed, nigga.
I feel like some women are just
they project gay on you.
A lot of women, some women have internalized homophobia too. So I'm like, that is a good.
Women are the most homophobic
people.
Let me land where I'm trying to get to though.
Don't turn down no pussy.
She started
gay. You gay.
Well, I didn't told you about that story. What happened with that? I ain't gonna bring it
share
that.
No, you got to.
But let me land on my story. I was just telling.
Yeah. So you got two stories to tell. Okay, come on with it.
So,
Number one.
So let me land on this one. So she comes up, she starts saying, "Oh, y'all niggas gay or something? Like y'all, like that's your man." I'm like, but I hit her with the most.
That's your man.
It's a 60-year-old nigga. I hit her with the most misogynistic shit though. I was like, "You not even there." I didn't even listen to her like she was there. I didn't respond to her. But I didn't say nothing. I didn't respond to her. I didn't look at her like it was nothing. I went in, by my business. Come here, sir. He walked by. I'm looking past her the whole time. You not even there, man.
Yeah,
got you. You just the air seat, the AC going on in the background.
Yeah.
She comes up. She's still yapping. I go up and handle my business. She end up leaving because she mad. That's how I handle that shit.
Yeah.
I'm not even looking at you. I'm not even.
You really
you're not
got
even there
to.
no more. You disrespected this man. My point I was trying to get to was, do you see that as a semblance of? Because I understand, all men don't deserve this reverence. But do you see where even a man of age doesn't even seem to get reverence amongst? I'm talking about 30, 40-year-old women.
But I don't even think that has to do with man or woman. I just feel like that's just there's no.
I think she would have did that for a granny.
I don't think
no
so.
Question.
Honestly, I genuinely
question.
don't think so. And the reason why is because I know too many people who are of that, like I think it's Generation Y and below. Like, so you go in.
She might have been my age though.
You
honestly.
know, like millennials, Gen Y, Gen Z. I'm seeing too many people in that age range that are just disrespectful in general. I know older women who I've worked with that are in their 50s and they disrespectful than a bitch.
Yeah,
so that's why I'm like, I don't necessarily feel like she would.
But they be telling y'all to be disrespectful. That's the shit that be crazy to me.
You know what's so crazy is they don't. The problem is that a lot of, at least not to me. So from my experience,
let me say this. I done lost families because of that.
When it comes to disrespectful women and men, a lot of it be authority problems. They be trying to push their authority, especially on other people. So they're not looking for you to also be disrespectful. They want you to pipe down, sit down, and shut up. So that's why I'm like, I don't feel like she would have also let anybody in front of her. I feel like that was just her as a person.
Maybe. But like I said, it was just crazy to see that.
I think it was an extra turn to it because it was a man.
An older man.
I've
black man at that.
I seen two women like boo a man in mid-sentence. Like, boo. Like
while he was talking?
Boo. Yes. And I'm like,
you know that rolled off the tongue good.
And
don't act like that rolled off the tongue good.
They said that. Like, they went into really being like, oh, it felt good to boo a nigga. Like, I'm like,
where the hell was you?
But those are two negative people just
bonding. Don't worry, we're projecting. We're gonna have a little fun.
That's just two negative people bonding. That don't got shit to do with them being women. That's just two negative. I've literally seen.
There is a trend.
I've literally
it's
seen
a
niggas.
Big trend of
I've literally and y'all talking about that. I've literally watched niggas these days. Y'all age group, Gen Z, Gen Y.
Nigga, we in the same age.
No, we're not. You are a millennial. I am Generation Z.
No, you're not.
Yes, I am. I was 97.
That's
97 is Gen Z.
Don't make me Google this shit.
It is. Look it up. Look it up. Go ahead and look it up so you can turn off your mic.
What?
Anyway, so
okay,
turn off my nigga mic. That's why.
So the only reason why I say there's two negative people because I've literally watched the same can be said for men as well because I've literally watched men watch a woman get cussed out. Like there's no. Oh,
I know. I'll tell you why though. Go ahead.
There's no stand up like being a stand up citizen anymore in general.
You want to know why? And I've seen it happen so many times.
Like you'll see
where it'll be a real beef between a man and a woman. Like the dude getting disrespectful, like he damn near done slapped her into the egos or some shit. And
the egos is crazy.
Wow. And a man will step in and say, "Hey, bro, you tripping like that," or really try to stop it. I've seen the woman be like, "Hey, why don't you mind your fucking business? Like this got shit to do."
But
my
right
brothers have died.
Like
stepping in.
Y'all remember the R. Kelly song, the shit with the Ozzy brothers? No, Ozzy. What is the Ozzy brothers? Ozzy brothers.
No,
the Ozzy brothers. He's R. Kelly's in the song, but he said,
video?
Remember the video? Remember what she said?
Oh,
don't you see two men are talking? Like that used to be a thing.
But at the same time,
still a thing.
It's
still a thing in my house.
Just show that's
not a thing in my house.
As a man, I feel like you should just try. I'm not saying put your life on the line. Just be like, chill. Just say something. But to watch you as another man or a congregation of men just watching a woman get her ass beat, and granted, I know
it's a case by case basis,
right?
too.
And I get that too, because I know it can get really, really tricky. And I am not saying put your life on the line for no woman, especially a lot of times.
A woman will pop it off.
And a lot of times, a lot of women end up going back. So it's
and that's the other part.
And it's like, because I actually know somebody, one of my mom's close friends actually died like that because she was trying to help another woman in a domestic violence situation. He ended up killing both of them. So it's like, I get that, but it's like, I just feel like as a man, you should at least like want to like, bro, chill.
But see, that's where it comes from. The idea of what I was saying was shit has changed too much where it's like, for us to be looked at working, life, everything to be as a equality as what we can make
and
it.
That's that word.
That where it comes to where it's like
do
I can't do that no more because you know why?
Be like, no, she a woman, or you be like, no.
Not even this. I'm not even giving the same grace if I'm doing that. If I come to your defense in that instance, or if I see you're getting beat up by another woman and I come in to break that up, that is something me, like you said, putting my life at risk.
Yeah.
I don't get nothing for just being a man that's not putting. You know what I'm saying? Being viewed as a man as it's by itself is not worth that anymore. So to expect that from us as a regular experience now is crazy because we don't get the benefit. Niggas used to come in. No, you go.
I was gonna say, but the thing is, I can understand from your standpoint, but you're grown. You've had life experiences where you can understand that. But it's a trickle down effect at this point with little boys. I don't know if y'all seen that video that went viral. But it was literally 2 boys beating up a 9-year-old girl in Florida.
Oh,
it was a teenage boy and his 9-year-old brother, and they were beating up a 9-year-old girl on the bus. So it was like, y'all get that life experience where it's understandable, but when they see that y'all also aren't standing up for women or not necessarily respecting them in that same way, they just think it's okay off the rip. They have no life experiences to tell them any different. So it was like the fact that they thought that was okay, and there were other boys on the bus, and nobody...
Somebody helped out. It was jumping.
I think all they did was pull him off after he.
No, it was 2 boys that went on her. It was a boy and a crosser. But it was a big boy and then a little boy.
Right, but only one boy came from the back of the bus and basically pulled him off, and even then the boy was still trying to swing. So I'm like, I feel like that trickle down effect is just it's negative in any instance. So
no, it's real. So hey, we gonna go to a little break real quick.
I got it too ahead of myself.
All right, so we back from our break here. We're going to just switch it up a little bit because I want to get into one little thing before we got to get out of here because we got a wonderful guest. Again, I appreciate you being here with us. So one of the few things we got to talk about. So first thing here, Zeus.
The network
needs to be canceled.
Holding us
King
back as a people.
King Bach need to be ashamed of himself.
King Bach?
That's the nigga he's part of the fucking founders of that shit.
I didn't know
Ray
that.
J.
No.
That's why I thought it was Ray J.
I thought that was Ray J. That's why I thought.
The nigga who was on Madden.
I remember Ray J
21,
used to,
I think.
King Bach from the skits.
Yes. This nigga is
I
part of
can
that.
understand why he would make
He's
that.
a founder.
Did you see? You remember his original skits? Yeah. So
I used to be with the shit.
Yeah, so I'm like, that nigga, that makes sense.
It's on brand.
Yeah, it's definitely on brand.
That shit was wild. When I actually looked at the group of people, I said, bro, y'all are fucking black KKK members.
Yeah,
But
pretty much.
That's all y'all really
But
are.
you see him out there running around with Scooter Braun and Bieber and them, so you already.
That's
know.
not a good look
that's
for
how
me.
he's that type of nigga
He ain't been
anyway.
with us for real.
These
I
niggas
don't
is
think
not
he ever
savory.
has been, because even when he was back in Vine days, he was still on that coon shit. So.
These are not savory Negroes to be a part of.
Cause Zeus got some shit on there, but it gotta be stopped.
I'm not gonna lie to
you should
Jocelyn.
not be watching.
Yo.
No, I ain't gonna lie. I'm only watching what's the shit?
What, Baddies West?
No, what?
Come on.
I'm not even hip. We'll talk off screen. I'm watching the cabaret shit.
Come on.
That's
man.
Jocelyn.
They showing the titties.
Bro, they show everything.
It doesn't matter though. You should not indulge in that
Titties.
bullshit.
Have y'all seen the girl that's gone viral, bro? She had the best breasts of all time.
God.
Show me.
What's
her name?
Shit, I think I saved it.
Pouring the oil on herself, but she couldn't dance for real.
Yeah, she was.
Yeah, she was bad. I know.
Y'all can get into that off screen.
I know that pussy is outstanding.
No, I want to see that now.
Now, you can definitely go check it out, bro. It was going crazy,
I
but
know
I just
that-
feel like with
Zeus?
Jocelyn, what she's pushing out,
Zeus, you said.
Jocelyn's
Blueface
propaganda,
and-
Blueface
that
and
shit is
Krishan,
bad.
Yeah,
That shit is
like-
bad.
Krishan and
burn the whole app. Like the app is.
What else come
But
on
what's
there?
crazy though, they just made that because
Bobby
for
Light?
some reason.
Bobby Light
Yeah,
is going crazy with the gay niggas on there.
Yeah.
Is he really?
Yes, he has a gay little show on there. Had them niggas
With
fighting.
Ray?
Like I didn't know gay niggas really fought with the hands up like that. I told Bobby Light.
Rolling
Oh,
Ray.
yeah.
on
Bobby
there.
Light put me on that.
Look, Rolling Ray on there. It's a whole bunch going
Rolling Ray
It's a lot of sickness on this app.
Sickness.
on the gay show.
on. Yeah.
It's a lot of sickness on this app, JoJo. I'm trying to tell you, we need to throw it down. This shit is worse than
I don't
TikTok.
know nothing about
You
Zeus.
holding it down. You like cinema.
The Jocelyn show was canceled though, I think.
Shit, the shit's still spreading like wildfire.
Yeah, it's them clips going.
I know, but we just and the only reason why they even made that is because for some reason in the black community there was so much outreach about another Bad Girls Club, and I'm like, why do y'all want to see
Double homicide.
Yeah.
I tell you
Shit like
why.
that.
Because y'all don't like each other.
I have no problem with other bitches, so I don't
You
know
just
who-
refer to them as
I don't
bitches.
know.
I call everybody bitches.
Yeah, but
I don't know though. It take a certain kind of lady.
I'm gonna be real with you.
You acquire taste. You take a certain kind of lady. I seen you snap on some folks.
That's what I'm like, and I was about to say I hang around certain people who we all kind of have the same personality. I don't interject myself into spaces I know that I'm not going to fit in order to avoid confrontation like that. Mm-hmm. So all little 3-4 of my friends, we all act like we all get each other's sense of humor. So the problem comes with
no uppity bitches.
It's not even up. Shit, you say that. 2 of my friends got 2. One got Tesla and a Mercedes. The other one got an Audi and a BMW and shit. But it's just what I'm saying is they have high standards, but that's not that. Their materialism doesn't define them. They are genuine people. Mm-hmm. And I would much rather be with people who are genuine. Like, there are people who are going to keep it real with me at 100% and not know, oh, bitch, you look terrible. And it's like, just, you're making a bad decision type of real. So it's like, I look for that. I don't look for, a lot of bitches look for aesthetics when it comes to friends. And that's the problem.
We look good as a clique.
Pretty much, we look good in photos. And granted, my friends are gorgeous if you ask me. And not even if you
Would you be honest?
I'm asking. I can show you pictures.
I'm asking.
Show me.
You know what they look like, JoJo. You know, because you always ask me to put you on
Will you tell them to come on the show?
And that hasn't yet to happen.
Will you tell them to come on the show?
I have to see if they're gonna come down here. This is a little scary.
It's okay. It's security right down the way.
This isn't scary.
Not y'all be scared.
Hey, we right here at the front and security by the door.
Not
right by the door.
This
ain't nowhere nobody want to be.
It'd be a council of crackheads on the pull up.
Like, hey,
show me one.
Give them $5 so they can be straight.
I'm not gonna say their names on here, but you literally have already seen them.
Show me one.
Well, he like I said, you show there, but this is why I want to know this because this is a topic that was actually we've been pushing back for a few weeks here now. So my question is, are the BBLs done?
No.
Because I feel like this, Ray. I feel like this. Let me tell y'all this, and I'll let y'all go. I feel like Coley Ray, she fucked up this summer by dropping a song that wasn't too early or too late. That Girls Is Player 2 was supposed to be a summer anthem. She dropped in fucking September. Her team fucked up. I honestly think going forward, she's gonna be what the girls are gonna be looking like. The skinny look is going to be.
It's hard to look like Coley Ray.
I think that's going to be why it's going to be valued.
But regardless.
But that never really went away either.
It's not. That's what I'm saying.
It never went away.
It never went away. It's cycles that come from white people.
Yeah.
It's all cycles that come. It's all white.
Because the white people want to look like the thick ass titties.
And now that they're past that point, now they passed the bootylicious shit, they're all going back to being skinny. I don't know if you've seen Kim Kardashian, but she's slowly been taking them hips out. Khloe is back to being stick ass skinny. Kylie's taking out her shit. It's all white beauty.
They're definitely going back to Barbie.
And that's why I'm like, if you even seen Ari these days,
no,
Ari's
not even the Barbie. I mean Barbie.
G Herbo baby mama, she's skinny as fuck at this point. Jada Waiter is taking out her shit. Like, they're
what's
getting
her name? Mad Gal Chris. She took her shits out.
That's I'm like, it's all white beauty standards.
She's the girl who's in Vaughn and videos and shit.
That's I'm like, it's all white beauty standards. As soon as they want an ass back, it's gonna come back. But it's literally just white beauty standards, and that's not anything.
So white people. So are we saying white people are going back to one of the pancakes?
Yeah.
Yes. It's Y2K. We're going right back to the Y2K.
Because you got a lot of them that's getting the real bubble, like just doing their regular 1-2 gym routine. Like,
so how was the run though? How was the thick run?
Thick run for who?
In general.
Oh no, it was glorious. Yeah,
I'm saying. So I tell us the run. Y'all was on a run. Y'all was on a hell of a run.
No, but it's not even a run. It's just,
they still got to run. They ain't going away.
There's still a community for us. It's not.
So you don't think like?
But what I'm saying though is, growing up, no, I was considered fat for a very long time in my life. I've been built like this my whole life, but I was considered fat up until honestly I moved down here, and it's also a northern and southern thing as well. Because I'm like in the north, I was always considered chubby. I was always on the bigger side, and I look back on my pictures, I was a size fucking 7. I wasn't big, but coming down here, there's a lot more embracing of the thickness, and I think the southern culture has just kind of spread across the country. So it's more normal. Standard. It's become more of a standard that southern, the southern body is okay. Yeah. But like he said though, also the skinny standard never went away. It never went nowhere. Away. Like if you ask anybody who's wealthy, skinny has always been equated to money, and it always will be. It comes as classy. People see thick women as basically whores. They see you have luxury.
Built for sex.
Right, you was built for sex. You're built for childbearing. That's it. But skinny women, you're watching what you eat. You're taking care of yourself.
I can take you out.
Exactly.
I can buy you any outfit.
Exactly.
I saw that somewhere where a woman was actually talking about how like having big breasts makes outfits and clothes look cheap.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, and that's how a lot of people think. So that's why I'm like, it's.
No, I'm just interested. Like I said, I just been
and
seeing
it just kind of go to where like it's just an over criticism of women. Like they can't win for losing. Like either I'm too thick, either I'm too skinny. Like,
right, and that's something like you just have to be happy with yourself at the end of the day, because if you do the society standards, like there's no way I'll ever be Y2K small. Like to get the the low rise, you basically don't have no. I'm never gonna be that size. So if I'm continuously looking for society for that model, like it's not gonna happen.
Do you think there's room? Because like I just never felt like, at least in my time frame, there hasn't been a prime where there's been two of it. It's always been either I
don't agree with that.
Either like you've either been a slim thick or just slim. Like it hasn't been, even with Lizzo. Like Lizzo kind of feels
even
like
in the South, even if you listen to, I'm just gonna make a corny ass reference. The Yin Yang Twins in 2003, they was talking about thick bitches then.
But they want a skinny waist though.
It's a regional thing. It's all a regional thing. Even though the bitches on the music video may look like that, look at some of their baby mamas. They've been big their whole fucking life. So like Moneybagg Yo, for instance, was his first one Juicy big as shit. So it's like that's a regional thing. That's why I don't listen to that shit.
No, that's real. I mean, at the end of the day, you're gonna.
And it ain't advertised how openly like. Bro, big women are liked. Like
that's why I'm like, that's why I hate that.
And they're the majority too.
Like, that's why I'm like, people are fuck Lizzo, we hate Lizzo. But guess what?
I mean, niggas. My thing is, I know why JoJo's laughing, but I'm saying this is you're gonna have to accept the majority. Whatever is that is available to you, you're gonna get accepted.
People be acting like men don't like big women. I've asked men myself. I know at least almost every man I've ever met has fucked at least one big girl.
I'll put some pushback. Well, that's different though.
But I'm saying though,
we can't say sex. We have to say you have to say cuff and take care of.
That's
the standard.
I'm talking about just in general fucking with.
I'm not saying that's not. I'm just saying that's the standard.
Like, look at all the big women. Almost every big woman I know got at least 3 kids.
Yes.
Somebody likes
big women. But that's what there's a difference though between somebody wanting to lay in it.
Like that's what I'm saying.
But there's a difference between a nigga wanting to lay in it and a nigga wanting to stay in it.
No, it's not.
There's not.
Yes, there is. There's a difference between a nigga wanting to lay in it and a nigga wanting to stay with it.
Every year when niggas go do the tax money judge.
There's not.
I'm gonna go.
But you understand.
But that's not the judge. You talking about the judge?
But they're doing that for aesthetics. They don't want. They're only going to get that BBL bitch because they like the aesthetics. They want their homeboys to give them that congratulations. Like,
but that's what men want.
They love their big fat ass baby mama. They love their baby mama.
Because she hold them down. I like her as a person. But the person who I'm going to show out,
but
when we flex
that ain't real.
That's not real. That's why they always go back.
But but unfortunately, that's gonna be the woman you marry. That's gonna be the woman who has.
No, it's not.
And niggas ain't like Snoop no more. I promise you, niggas is not like Snoop no more.
You got a lot of niggas that's like, oh, I just want to get my bullshit out of the way, and then I'm gonna go back and go be with my big fat ass girl.
And this niggas ain't like Snoop no more, bro.
Exactly.
I'll tell you that.
That's what I'm saying.
Plenty niggas doing that.
It's plenty. Again, men just like women look.
There's plenty big girl riding for that. Like, oh, bro, you gonna get
which is crazy. That's honestly sad. But
it is sad, but it's a reality.
But
you got a bunch of big bitches that's like,
reality.
Girl, he just fucking on them. He don't give a fuck. He know where home is. Like,
I hate that mentality.
Okay, so let me add this, and then I'm gonna let y'all touch on this point. So there was a woman who was going around social media a while ago, and she was basically saying how men go to the bigger women because they have to, not because that's not the ideal they want. And it's just due to financial situations. It's due to the fact of that's what's available to them. And that's why.
I think it's all of the above.
But if you actually had a man to be able to say, hey, you can't get 100% of your fantasy, but you can get 95%. Okay. You can get 95% of your fantasy. They're going to want to go for it. So, hey, this is the Thought for Narcissist podcast. I do appreciate all y'all coming in and listening in. Hey, man, it's the greatest podcast in the world. I want to thank 22 for coming in. We appreciate it. Hey.
The PO just pulled.
Like, comment, follow, subscribe. We here. We out.